All of this after U.S. bombers and submarines released heavy strikes on a trio of Iranian nuclear facilities under the cover of night. The president touting those strikes as a complete success. Here's Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
This mission was not and has not been about regime change. The president authorized a precision operation to neutralize the threats to our national interests posed by the Iranian nuclear program and the collective self-defense of our troops and our ally Israel.
However, on Truth Social, President Trump saying it is not politically correct to use the term regime change. But if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Meanwhile, protesters taking to the streets from San Francisco to New York City to Paris. Anti-war demonstrators objecting and speaking out against the American strikes in the Middle East. Also, from the State Department, a national terrorism bulletin now warning of possible cyber attacks and violence, including anti-Semitic hate crimes. While there are no specific credible threats, this bulletin says the heightened threat is expected to last throughout the summer. NewsNation following all of these developments in Washington. Libby Dean is at the White House. NewsNation's Robert Sherman joining us live first from Tel Aviv. Robert, more strikes, as we mentioned, overnight there. What's the latest on the ground?
Yeah, we saw multiple strikes here, Marnie, in which causing Israelis across the country in order to head back to the bomb shelters. You saw these scenes all throughout the country as cities such as Haifa, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, all put into the line of danger by these Iranian strikes. One of those barrages appeared to only have one missile fired at Israel, but the other one having 10 missiles fired at the Israelis here. What you're looking at right now, Marnie, is a period where there is a lot of tough talk going in different directions. There is a lot of posturing. But behind all of that, there is a desire to get this back to the negotiating table. You've heard the president say that explicitly. You've also heard countless allies of the United States saying that as well, saying that they would like to see the United States and Iran negotiating directly. This was Germany's foreign minister. Take a listen.
We made it very clear to the Iranian side back then that a real prerequisite for a settlement of the conflict is that Iran is prepared to negotiate directly with the United States. This message was not yet properly understood back then, and we will now renew it, and I am renewing it here. Iran must know that the world will not accept that it is nuclear armed.
So that's the deal from a lot of our allies here, is that Iran has got to open up direct talks with the United States, something that they've said at this juncture they don't have an appetite in doing, and they have said publicly that they do not trust the United States. In the interim, Israelis on the ground here anticipate there's going to be more levels of retaliation from Iran. This is what the Israeli Air Force has been doing over the last 24 hours. You see them striking fighter jets that are sitting on the tarmacs, attack helicopters, as well as ballistic missile launch sites, attempting to weaken Iran as much as possible before that next move comes. And I have to tell you, Marnie, is that while we have seen a couple of strikes here and there coming from Iran, there is this overwhelming of feeling on the ground that what we've seen so far is really nothing compared to Iran's capabilities that remain and what we can expect at a time of Iran's choosing. Marnie?
Robert, another major development here is Russia's President Putin meeting with Iran's foreign minister today. Talk a bit about the significance of that and sort of reaction globally.
I mean, especially with what you've heard coming from the Kremlin today, their spokesperson said that they're prepared to look into exactly what Iran needs, not giving any specifics or not even marrying themselves to the notion that they would be prepared to rearm Iran or give them any support, but certainly leaving the door open in the public sphere, which is significant here, Marnie, because there has been a conversation about the United States aiding Israel, reloading the Iron Dome, Iran and their ballistic missile stockpiles here. So you see the way that this broader geopolitical conversation is opening up here. But the fact that Iran is being welcomed by the Kremlin here, the Kremlin is, of course, lining up with Iran and going against the United States, saying that the actions that the United States has taken are unacceptable here. You see the way that all of these lines are being drawn here and the way that this is building out and the posturing between the United States, Israel, its allies, as well as Iran, Russia, and their allies. Certainly more to come from all of this here, Marnie.
Yeah, any support from Russia further complicating this situation and its complexity. Robert, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.